Warning, Archer's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh, look out. Shaking it down. In Archtown. Remember to tie your shoes, fellas. You don't want to trip. Just clean up my makeup brush. It's getting a little clogged. Oh, God. We got a lot to do. Stand by. All right, we got some stuff coming up. Just cleaning up. Remember, fellas, how you do anything is how you do everything. Stand by. Here we go! Let's see. Let's transfer out to the cameras. What's up, everybody? Hold on, let me get this off. Let's get up the itinerary. Let me put a few things together, and we'll get started. I want to say hello to everybody. So we got a whole bunch of people already here. It's good to see everybody. Let me back up. So TJM says good evening, and I got a shout out to TJM this evening as well. Stephen Paul, what's up? Mater's here. We got some stuff to do with Mater a little bit later. We got David here, David Morrison. Are you related to Jim? We got, let's see, I'm here. Stephen Wall, Henry's here. What's up, Henry? We're going to give a shout out to Henry in a little bit. Glenn Garside, welcome. Shangri-La Da, he's here again. I think he was the fellow. Weren't you the fellow that gave us the part number for the Honda generator / coil? I think it was you, right? Wasn't it you? I forget now, but it's been, I've had it on so many. I think I actually just removed it from the description on this show, but I have it like so many places now. I just try to embed it everywhere because we'll come back to that. That's kind of cool. Mate is here. Shangri-La, Mate, Brett, Mitch is here. Robert Mailhouse. What does he say? He goes, Archie's in making with the P lady. Yeah. By the way, Robert, I don't think I asked you if we found out. Weren't you in like Tennessee or something? How'd that work out? Weren't you away for the holidays? The one we just had, a nice Thanksgiving. How did that go? Let us know. Brett's hanging out. Drunken Jim is here. Nice. Have a beer on me. Have a drink on me. Henry says, Brett, Robert, hi. Robert, what do you think? Taught the P lady on how to put the makeup on. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at the P lady later. Right? Yeah, definitely. Victory was Arch. Robert says, hey, big dog. There's hello, Brett. Nice intro jam, Brett says. Mitch says, nice pre-show. Thank you. Sitting in a warm house with a kitty on my lap. It is like, it's now down to 27 outside. It's a little cold in here. You'll hear the heat on probably every now and then. Well, you may not hear it. It might, because I do have a bit of noise cancellation on. So it does try to mute some of that out. But, you don't want to get too crazy with like noise cancellation, everything. It just makes everything sound weird. Jim says, 2 live shows today, Ken and yours. Where's the popcorn? I know, right? Let's see. David says, smoke him if you got him. Yeah, if you ain't got him, then you hit rock bottom. For sure. Robert says, I remember when you were told your shoes are untied. It made you look. Yep. Remember we used to walk around the halls, right, in like junior high, and we'd say stupid shit like, your epidermis is showing. You're like, hey, your epidermis is showing, and everyone would like look down, Ken's here, it's all evening, all lounging on the couch with the cat. Yep. 19 in the house. Smash the like button. Nice, nice. Yes, please. Yeah, I never say that. Hit the like button for sure, fellas. You cannot petition the Lord with prayer. That's from the Soft Parade. That's a good one. You cannot petition the Lord with prayer. That was a good one. Yeah, actually, you can. Well, it's not really petitioning. We can ask with prayer. Hello, Kenny. Kenny says, Henry says, hello. Mater's is very cold here. 65. I know. Mater's just, well, actually, you guys had a bit of cold weather recently down there in Texas. And if Johnny comes on, he's down in Alabama. And isn't that where, that's where you are, right, Robert? Ken says, Mr. Rollins says, Brett, hello, Hank, Robert. So let me bring this up. Hold on, let me bring this thing up. Oh, look at all of that stuff. I can't fit it all, right? So let's see, what do we want to do? So a couple of things. I'll run down the itinerary. Nice clip. Let's see, UFO or UAV or demons, we will get to that first, but before we get to that, all right, I want to just go through the itinerary. So KenSmallEngines made his channel. Brother Dave, happy holidays. That's a nice little video. We'll get to that. A quick one. He was here the past week, and last Saturday, he wanted to leave on Saturday. I was trying to get him to stay until like Sunday so he could pop on a live, but he was getting tired and he wants to leave when he wants to leave, and that's all there is to it. And I didn't do a show last week because I was shot. It was great seeing him again. Hopefully I'll see him soon, but we put together a little quickie for us tonight and to wish everybody happy holidays and cover a few other bases as well. And since you guys haven't seen him, so, you'll get to see the two of us or whatever that's worth, right? So we'll get to that a little bit. Big Mike was here and some just general updates. Now, KenSmallEngines, big shout out to Ken. And also I want to remind myself to ask him a question, but big shout out to Ken. Ken made a nice, donation to the channel, but also some of it I have to work off. And so I want a big shout out to Ken for doing that. And no longer on here. It really helped. We have a couple of things to open up in a little bit. I want to open up and go through them. So I did actually treat myself to a nice Amazon day. Just a couple of things for the shop really is what I needed. And I think it was one thing for a job I'm working on. So we'll open that up, but in a minute. But a big shout out to him. Now, him and Henry. Now, one of the things I want to do for Ken, and I want to ask Ken if maybe, obviously we're going to take care of some of this in person. But I sent him over this big list. It's split into two. And so Ken has been asking me about, different things and others as well, camera stuff. What are you using? What mic? What are some of these gadgets? Like this stuff, like this nice light, right? And how does it clip on? And what mount is it? And what stand? And I want a boom stand. So I put together a list, an Amazon list, of a lot of the stuff that I've purchased over the past couple of years, and even some things that I might want in the future that I've been looking at myself. A lot of it is just like a lot of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think, but it's very useful. And of course, the bigger things like my K&F concept stand, it has a little bit of a boom on it. There are actual booms. There are goosenecks. Nice thing is when you're working with some of the smaller cameras or the cell phones or the GoPros is they're very lightweight. And what's nice about those is you don't have to support the weight, and they're very friendly to clipping on things, magnets. I think it was Henry had mentioned that he glued a magnet to something. He got some magnets, I think, from Harbor Freight. I want to do the same thing as a bunch of magnets. There's these clip-on things that I don't know if I have one here, but I was thinking, I want to ask Ken if he wants to go on. I like this. One of the things I sent him is I have a couple of these. So that's a really nice double action clamp. They come in different sizes, and then I put an extension on it, and then this is just like your standard cold or hot shoe mount up here, and things like microphones or like this light or my bigger light, right? So you can just, or even my bigger light that's over there, you can just clamp it onto something or shove it on a magnet. So that was one aspect of it. And the other one, he says, well, I got some internet issues. And his son is a gamer. By the way, this is real. I love these. It's got the foot on the bottom for clamping into a standard mount, like a camera mount, and this is adjustable, and you screw it down, and it can hold your phone nice. I love stuff like this, because you can different size phones, and I can rotate it on my stand. So if I want it wide, or my little Gorilla stand, so if I want it widescreen, or I can move the stand this way if I want to shoot a short. And then, like he said, his son games, and I used to be a gamer 10 years ago, whatever. And I think I mentioned to you fellas that I used to run servers out of here. And actually, my server is back. I've actually bought it back from my friend who I sold it to years ago. Game servers and stuff like that. And did some coding and things of that nature. And like back then, the internet that I had here and everything, the way it was working was good. Now, with cameras, the resolution of some of these cameras, very high quality. Even some of the lower quality stuff is so much better than a few years back. And what happens is you run out of bandwidth. You start having issues. And, wait, hold on, as Ken says, he's gaming now. Yeah, he's gaming now. Oh, let me open that up. And also, too, like, if he's gaming, like my daughter, sometimes her boyfriend comes over, he games. And, yeah, look, there he is. Wait. See? At the command center. See? See what I mean? At the command, So, and you want to have enough bandwidth so that the old lady wants to watch Netflix in 4K, and you can, or me, or whatever, you want to go live with a whole bunch of people, or upload a video, and somebody else, like my daughter, for example, she's watching a movie and she's chatting at the same time and pulling videos down on her cell phone while she's watching a movie on her 4K. And and then somebody comes in and then making a phone call, and then it's just all, so you need bandwidth. Now, Ken's son wants more bandwidth and wireless, and I said, well, the first thing I would do is I would run a cable. Because if you run a cable into another room, you have access point, full bandwidth. He can plug into that. You can plug another modem or whatever, or a router or a booster. You can do all kinds of different things. You can have extended wireless. So I wanted to go through all of that. And I was thinking, well, why don't we, aside from just doing it, one-on-one, of course, but either on a Saturday or during the week, maybe, Ken, if you want, we'll do a live show. We'll do it on mine. I'll figure out how to do Restream, because it looks like it's working pretty good for Ken. By the way, links in the description for KenSmallEngines, Mater's Workshop, and also Henry Murawski, because Henry had asked me a bunch of questions, and I spent some time with Henry, about an hour or so on the phone, because Henry's also looking to up his game when it comes to camera stuff. And then, of course, all the connectivity to all that stuff. And like you can see here, a little dark over here, but he was asking me about, see all the thing with the blinky lights, right? That's my ATEM switcher, and maybe we'll get a closer look at that a little later. But this guy here does a lot of the switching, but it's this software that does a lot of the work as well. So the two of them are tied in together because I'm running a computer. And I mentioned to him that if you get the better one of these, you can actually run an entire basic show with a couple of cameras, multiple cameras, and you can broadcast directly to YouTube, Facebook, and I think they gave you one more, but at least two at the same time. Like you can simulcast, and you don't need a computer. And what's nice about doing stuff like that is, well, computers glitch. Not every piece of software or microphone or driver cooperates. You have problems. Whereas if you just plug the basic stuff into this switcher, it just does that. And a lot of people like that because it's reliable. There's no, when you start up this device here and you turn it on, it boots. And that's it. Okay? There's no logging into Windows and hoping, or if you're on an Apple product and hoping that your stuff now interfaces with Apple. And so anyway, I figured, well, maybe we'll just do a show, and if Ken wants, we'll figure out a time whenever, maybe like after the holidays or before, whenever. whenever we can, come. A lot of you aren't going to like it. You're probably going to be bored. But like I said, we'll do it on my channel so we don't shut up his channel. Let's see. Wait. Hold on. Ken's got some new stuff. Hold on. Newest purchase has USB. Oh, I saw this. You saw? Yeah, I wanted to put this. I wanted to talk about this. You showed this. So it was like last week's show at KenSmallEngines. And that is the Milwaukee battery, USB and 200-watt inverter powered by Milwaukee battery. And this is the stuff that I also wanted to talk about because these are all of the really neat solutions today. So this camera up here that I'm talking into, it's got a battery system on it that I think I mentioned to you guys. Hold on. Oh, let me get it. I'm coming. So while I'm on the topic, but this is the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. So I'm not going to get into it deep tonight, but just briefly while Ken mentioned it. So this is the size of the battery that is in my cameras, right? The problem, and it's not big, it's tiny, and they suck, and they go dead after, these are getting old. In fact, you see that grinding mark there? That's a sanding mark. And on the back, right, where the label was, that's because after you charge them a whole bunch of time, they swell up, and then they don't fit in the camera, and you can't get them out. The problem with the smaller cameras is the batteries don't last, and you want to go shoot something and you're not paying attention. How many times have we watched our favorite YouTuber and they're like, oh, I had the footage. Well, what happened to the footage? Well, I forgot to press record or the battery went dead. So the thing that I just showed you that Ken got powers USB. It can power your camera. It can recharge your camera. There's all of these different solutions. And that's some of the stuff I wanted to talk about, along with, he goes, I copied what James Conner had, right? His is why Ryobi battery. Yeah, but I like the Milwaukee's. But yeah, absolutely. When you run these smaller cameras, this is what you get. And this is bigger than most of them. I run this battery on that camera, or this battery. And you can see the size difference, right? Or sometimes I run this battery. I like this battery when I'm hand holding it because it's lighter, but it's got tons of power. This battery will run me almost all day. I can leave the camera on. I think it's like 4 or 5 hours on 4K. On 1080p, it'll run much longer. And it bayonet mounts into a side mounted battery holder that you can either recharge through, or it puts out two different voltages. It puts out 12 volt and 7.4. Now, when you step up to a little bit more professional, like in the Sony cameras, by the way, these are all Sony batteries. These are for camcorders, which is why camcorders really work really well. I mean, if you really want to shoot video, you actually run a camcorder. So as compared to these little guys. Now, when you kind of step up to a little bit more of a professional camera, they're a little bit bigger. In the Sony lineup, their stock battery is a little bit bigger than this on their Pro line, and it will run about 5 hours on 4K, about 5 or 6 hours. A lot of people say that they can leaving it on and running the camera, and depending upon what you're using with it. So you could just continuously record pretty much all day, for the most part, without ever worrying about your battery. But when we stay with the GoPros, or even my cell phone battery is dead, and it's like brain surgery trying to get an iPhone apart. So I only get maybe a half an hour. If I'm trying to record or talk to somebody, or forget video. Here's Henry. Henry goes, oh yeah, Henry got this. Hold on, did he get this? The video mixer switcher. Yeah, so this is the stuff that I want to talk about. And what I was thinking, I'll learn how to do, this is nice, even simpler. So I'll learn how to do restream, and I'll bring Ken up and maybe even Henry. He goes, I shoot a lot outside. Battery does not last at 20 degrees. Yeah, that lasts. Yeah, the big thing lasts. That's what I mean. So we'll kind of like get together. I'll do Restream, and I'm sure Restream, you know, all I need to really have access to is to one more monitor. Because I know in StreamYard, I can show one monitor. I can't do all the other crazy stuff, and it's too many clicks and buttons and things to move around, and too many problems and possibilities of it not working or not working right or being too slow. But just showing like Amazon or something I want to bring up on one monitor, one screen, a YouTube video, or just one thing. And then we can come back to the two of us or the three of us or whatever, and blah, 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 and talk. And if I want to bring up like the Amazon list, and I can go to the links and show the different things, and we can talk about it. And whoever has questions or wants to ask a little bit more about either cameras or internet or what we want to do, what he wants to do, what he's done, or what Henry is working on, because Henry's got some good stuff going on. Again, Henry's link is in the description. Shout out to Henry. Henry Murasi, Big Dog Repair. So I often talk about like upping your game a little bit. You know, that thing that Ken bought and the thing that's the stuff that Henry is doing. Those are that's how you up your game. It's one of the ways you do it. Solving problems. It's not a lot of this stuff is not expensive, especially if you buy it a little bit over time. And don't worry about it. You know, like I've saved my money, and occasionally, actually, I did bring up my bill a little bit on my credit card this year, but that was for a lot of other stuff as well. So I got to try to pay that down. But a lot of this stuff you build up over time. You know, something like this clamp, nothing's going to happen to it. You know, it's all aluminum. That other thing that I showed you, this thing over here, this nice steel and aluminum. It's not plasticky crap. You know, how many of these do you need? 1, 2? And I have some plastic ones. They suck. They kind of came with other things. This is, who is this? Ulanzi. They make some good stuff. I think it's got a model number on it. But I want to show all that stuff, the ST03. It's not going to break unless you run over with your car and drop it in the driveway and trip on it. Which can happen, you know. But, you know, a lot of this stuff, you just collect it over time. Some of the stuff, you can damage connectors and cables, and batteries, of course, are going to wear out. And, you know, but I've had these a while. I just bought another pair of them recently. So I'm pretty much covered. These I've had for years already, and they're just starting to... They don't quite hold the charge as long as they did, but they're still fine. So do it a little bit at a time. So like I said, I'll figure that out. We'll get together if they want, and we can talk about it, answer other questions, and then later on, if we're still on, you know, we can get to some small equipment or whatever. But just kind of push it to a show all the stuff, talk about some basic solutions. And some of the stuff, whether you're a YouTuber or you know, if you've got to fix up your internet issues at home, there'll be some questions answered there about it. I think a lot of us have issues with our internet. I certainly have had those issues forever. Let me show you real quick. Let's see. Let's pull. We got that off. So this is on, off. Good. We got that off. We'll get to the other stuff in a minute. And I just want to show you here. So this was my internet. Hold on. Let me bring up a page. I could see it now. I could see it now. All right, we're going to go. Let me move this over to here. Yeah, here we go. Go to the right monitor. So that was my download and upload a couple of weeks ago. 85.29 down, which is not bad. I mean, you know, you could watch some 4K stuff, do a whole bunch of things with it. It's download. But my upload was 3.84 megabits per second. That was horrible. It took me an entire day to upload a half-hour video, like 24 hours. Let's see what it is now. Now it takes me like 20 minutes. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. All right, we did a quick test. And I was uploading a 40-minute, one of my more recent videos. It's like a 40-minute video in 4K. And we were doing a live show at the same time. Yeah. Speed test. Let's run it. Finding server. We'll go to the Hicksville one. Let's see. My planes, New York, Orange. Did they not have that one up? Oh, they don't have it up tonight. Here we go. Now, a little bit faster, not much, right, on the download. See, she's getting close to 100. It'll settle in. Ken says, I can see clearly now. The cable is gone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look at that, fellas. Oh, it's coming up. Yup. 88. Oh, yeah. Nice. So 87.94. And I know the girls are using all kinds of crap in the house. And, you know, we're here streaming, uploading. This is an upload. All right. You know, for lack of a better understanding. All right. Here's my ATEM software. Hold on. I'm coming back. So that's pretty cool. And here, I want to show you. So real fast, let me go back to that. Let's end this segment, this part of the segment out. So I can close a few things. So hold on. Let's see. So KenSmallEngines, that's a big shout out to Ken. Thank you, Ken. And we'll get together and we'll finish up. Plus, don't forget, Ken, I still need those pictures of your equipment so I can finalize a few ideas because I want to see what he has. And then I can probably match up some stuff specifically to what he has or just suggest everything all new. But I want to see what he's got for us. So KenSmallEngines, again, link in the description. And there's another shout out to Henry because Henry was doing some stuff and I was chatting with Henry and he's got some nice stuff going on over there. He's out in he's got all these sheds and outbuildings and but it's a little cold out there, I would think, right now at 27 degrees. But he's out there fooling around. So shout out to Henry. Again, link in the description. And of course, we're going to get to Mater's in a little bit. So Mater's link is down there. I want to take a look at Mater's channel real fast. He's got all kinds of cool stuff in here. But the one, I do like the old Predator car one. But I wanted to get to something he's working on in a little while. It has to do with, let's see, where is he? He's working on, where is it? There was one. We'll find it in a little bit. Yeah, this is it. Now, there's also one that's a full video, so we'll poke around with him in a little bit. But he's doing a lot of cool stuff with batteries and solar, and it gives us some ideas. And, of course, he loves to play around with his... These are nice, by the way. Check out his Cobalt 24 fan. He's got some nice battery-operated stuff there as well. Nice to have. But we'll get back to that in a bit. Let me come back. We'll get to that. And of course, let me just minimize that. So let me close out that. Now we might see a little bit of flickering because I'm running that monitor software. And if I don't have like this thing up, for some reason or other, there are these little weird glitches that you get depending upon what you're using and how extensive your system or inefficient your system might be. And I get this glitch occasionally when I bring up that software controller. That's this thing here. I'll show you again real quick. So this not only controls the cameras, so I have a physical controller. That's the thing on my desk. But then I also have a software controller. And this allows me to do all kinds of different things, including tweak the audio, filtering, anything I want to do with the mics, any audio inputs, I can deal with them from here. And I can also do this, by the way, on a separate computer. This control also is on my laptop. And since the laptop is set up wirelessly, I can also do all the switch. Anything that I can do here on my desktop where everything is running off of, I can do from another computer as well. So, as you get into more professional stuff, that's the kind of stuff that you can do. Oh, let me come back. Let's see. I'm coming. Getting tired tonight already. I'm already tired. So, you don't have to necessarily do that. But again, like I was saying, like that, the version above this box would allow me to kind of not have to use all this stuff if I wanted to. And it would simulcast to two different places. That's pretty powerful, right? Slim everything down. Let's say you want to go, like you're in a remote location, or you don't have room for all of this stuff. Like even Henry, like outside, right? If you're out in a shed, or if I'm in my garage, I could actually basically, you tape this to a stand, right? With some cameras, and you put some wires up. And yeah, you could literally do a whole show off of 120 volts or batteries, and you don't even need all this crap. Or maybe a laptop or a little something that, notepad or something. See, but it does flicker a little bit. And it doesn't always do it either, which is I'm not exactly sure. Because part of it's too, because I need a new computer. This computer is getting old. I've got so many add-on cards on this thing. What a nightmare. All right, so we're going to get to Made Shine a little bit, Brother Dave a little bit, Big Mike, we'll get to that a little bit. Let's go over to the UAV demons. Are they UFOs? Is it UAVs or is it demons? See it flickering? Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, let me cue that up. Let me see what you fellas are doing first. All right, let me open up my other page here. Let me catch up to you fellas. So let's see. Before I get to you guys, we're going to pop out the chat. All right, pop out the chat. Bring it over to here. Blow it up full screen. And I'm going to go to split screen chat. And it's just a click away. Isn't that cool? All right, let me catch up with you guys. Let me see where you are. Smoke me if you got them. I just made some over here. Brenton over here. Stephen Paul, Dusty Fingers. Robert says, I remember when you were told your shoes would me to look. The Lizard King. Yeah, the Lizard King. Ken says, evening all, lounging on the couch with the cat. Miss Morales, it's 19 in the house. Smash the like button. You cannot petition law with player. Hello, Kenny. It's very cold, 65 here. Brett, hello. Hank, hello. Stephen Paul says 75 miles from New York City, cold as hell. Brett says he loves the Doors. Ken says it's all 20s tonight. Same here, Ken. Henry says Archie, shut off the ad link between. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see. Do edit. Tone style, live shows, monetization. Oh my God, it's like they defaulted to like aggressive too. They're like, pound them with ads, be relentless. Okay, got that done. Let's see, let me make sure it's back. Yeah. Okay. Same here, Ken. Why don't you show off the ads? BJ, hey, Arch, it's Barry. I just got these drones are big. There was one over Williamstown an hour ago. TGM says morning all. I know. It's either TGM forum is either morning all or evening all. And it's always opposite because he's so far away. That's too funny. David says, could be a driver that needs updated. Yeah, it could be a driver. Well, I'm running Windows 10. See, that's another problem as you run into. All right. This thing can't run Windows 11. It doesn't have the security keys and stuff for it, in the motherboard. And he goes, man, says, Arch, look at your email of what I sent you. Oh, I got to open up my email. Oh, that means I have to type in a huge password. Hold on, maybe we get to that later. Hey, Mix here. He goes, man, you old muckers. Red says, hello, Mick. He says, hey, Brett. Henry goes, Mick Mate. This is up late, Mick. This is yo Hank, me old mate. Oh, it says I did a video of a bad boy rebel mower at the Kawasaki Mule side by side. Nice. Ken says, is Nana still walking around naked? No, we've jumped in bed. Yeah, so he's in bed. Yeah, you and Nana, naughty boy. This is Christmas present. Nice. I retracted it. Mick the diesel heater, man. That's funny. That's nice. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago I was doing this and there was no glitching, no flickering. I was doing exactly the same thing. Could be a driver, could be a connector's getting tired, could be dirt, could be anything, right? But we'll figure that out another day. We don't really care. All right, let me queue up this little short, and then we can talk about it. Because I want you to see this picture. Now, I don't know if this picture is real, okay? The thing is this is really all speculation because they didn't tell us anything. So all of it is speculation, but I want you to look at this picture and let's assume it's real. Probably isn't, but let's assume it's real, and then we can talk about it. So let me break to the video. Let's see. Let's move this out of the way. Hold on. I'm going to go to standard ATEM cameras. All right, I think I got it all queued up. Make sure the desktop audio is on. I'll check for audio. So shout out to Redacted for this little clip.
Overnight, we got new images, by the way. Look at this helicopter coming in contact with one of these things in the sky. Look at the size of this thing. So in the back,
now we'll come back to that
picture
pic.
here, you can see the helicopter in the background, and there's like massive craft, unlike anything I've ever seen before. Okay, is this some sort of a man-made craft? It looks like it probably is. The Black Book Project craft that we don't know anything about. That's probably exactly what it is. And then in Florida, now not just New Jersey, Florida, in Plantation, Florida, this woman was live streaming last night on Facebook, and she
now this is easy to debunk.
These orbs in the sky. And then she shows them they transform into airplanes and then take off. And she's like, for 5 hours and for 5 days in a row, I've been capturing these things. So watch this as these things transform from an orb and then suddenly just shoot off as airplanes. Watch.
Okay, guys, this is real time live streaming. Drones, UAP, UFO, call them whatever you want. This is not normal. And by the way, the FAA clears. There's no airplanes flying right now.
I can debunk that.
In the greater Plantation area. Look how it takes flight. That one takes flight in the shape of an airplane.
I can debunk that.
That one takes flight and eventually, well, it's still looking like an orb. Okay, so let's see how big this one gets. I believe this has some kind of technology that it projects some kind of holographic image of an airplane. I know I sound crazy, but I've seen these now for 5 days. 5 days.
So there you go.
Did anybody else think that the emoji hearts were the drones at first?
Yeah.
People pushing them. And I was like, and they're heart-shaped?
People kept pounding the heart.
All right, so I just want to bring this up right here. She's cute, by the way. Isn't she cute? I just keep saying that. Take a look at this for a minute. I'll come back and we'll talk about that. But there's the helicopter in the background. Black Hawk or whatever. UA-64 or whatever the hell it is. And I don't know where the picture's being taken from, but let's debunk this, and I can debunk some of the other stuff, and we'll talk a bit about that. Let me come back. All right. Now, quick shout out. Is it Vintage there? Where is Vintage Engine Repair? Shout out to Vintage over there in Aussie land. Aussie, right? From Aussie, Australia. Ah, Foster's. It's beer. Beer, eh? What's up, brother? Good to see you here. So let's start debunking. All right. All right, so first things first. Ooh, listen to the chair, fellas. We got the chair. Let's debunk the orbs. All right. She's probably using her cell phone. Most likely. Everybody seems to have one of these, right? And they stick the phone up like this. They don't even turn it this way. They turn it this way. And they go, oh, it's an orb. Oh, it's not an orb. All right. There's a thing called manual focus. There isn't a camera on the planet, right, that can take a picture of a light at there's a specific distance where even a candle, if a candle was lit over there at the back of the room, 20 feet away, and I took my cell phone and I just went like that in the dark with candlelight on autofocus, you know what it's going to do? It's going to show an orb because it can't focus on anything. Now, depending upon the camera and the cell phone, the autofocus system is either contrast focused, and you've seen these where on the older phones and even the older cameras, you've seen it where when it goes to focus on something, it looks like it zooms in and then comes back out and it kind of hunts for a minute and then it finds a focus. Because it's looking for the differences in contrast between the darkest and the brightest. And it does this calculation, this algorithm, and it comes back and forth to sort of calibrate itself, and then it settles in. Now, a lot of the newer phones with their cameras inside, or even like this camera, not so much that camera over here. This camera is not as good. This camera I have it set right now to look for two things: an autofocus. It looks for face detection. Then it looks for eye detection. So if it can't quite grasp the eye, it will grasp the face. And I can set it into facial override. And I can pick a grid too. I can say, if a face is in this grid, in this area, right now it's set for center. So it's looking at the center where the target is. And it's looking for two things. So the face, so it'll ignore everything else, face first. Eyes first, face first, it'll ignore everything else and focus. And if it doesn't see a face, it's whatever is in the center, the direct center of the camera. Or if I override that, I can tell it, well, focus over here to the right on a grid. And I can touch that and override it from the screen in the back. Let me shut that other thing off, hold on, because I don't like it glitching like that. We don't need it. So I can do that. And I kind of like that. I can change it up. I can do it a few different ways. And it doesn't use contrast focus. However, a lot of cameras have, as a backup, they have a contrast focus system. So whenever any of these systems are working and it sees a light up in the sky or off in the distance, it's going to show it as an orb. So all of these people going, oh, there's orbs, it's Satan, and all these horrible stuff is happening. And no, it's because you need to go into manual focus. And cameras do have the ability to do manual focus, even cell phones. Almost every camera does. In fact, for the iPhone in particular, particularly the newer iPhones, there's a camera app out there. There's a few different companies that are offering this. It used to be free, but I think they charge for the better ones now. And for those that are into videography, you can download that app, and it's a very small fee. I don't know if it's a one-time fee or whatever, but it allows you to take complete control over all of your camera settings, and that are built into your iPhone, and including the others as well, from what I understand. But by doing that, you can not only do manual focus, but you can change your frame rates. There's so many settings, your gain or your ISO. And if you really just want to stay with something like an iPhone and do some really nice work, at some point, you're going to need to use some kind of a manual setting. Now, this camera isn't fully automatic. It's in a semi-manual setting right now. And this camera also is in a semi-manual setting all the way over there. So I think it's showing up. And one of the things I have on this camera, right now I have it. So that's manual zoom. And there is a manual focus on it. Remember, it's very dark in here. So it's way too dark for anything like this or GoPro. Because these cameras have big sensors on them. This has a tiny little sensor. And so the smaller the sensor, the less light, they say collect, but that's not the right term. It can't see light well, and it can't define it. So it turns it into an orb. So nobody's seeing orbs, all right? There's no orbs. And if there are orbs, maybe they are Satan. I don't know. Maybe they're demons. But that's not what's happening. So people are going, oh my God, orbs. We're being invaded by orbs. You're not being invaded by orbs. Now we'll get to the plane itself. It's a UAV. It's a type of a UAV. So let me get into that. Let me just catch up. Let's see. Oh, look, I can switch to this thing. Hold on. I'll go over to... I kind of like switching back and forth. It's kind of neat. Split screen. You know, it's like once I get used to it, it's like one click away. It's kind of neat. Let's see. Christmas present. Make the diesel heater man. And see, Jamie O says, hey, Jamie, Chinese may have a drone over your home arch messing things up. Could be. Ken says, Mr. Morning, Tom. I know, Tom, it's got to be like really early over there. Henry says, Tom, hey, Hank, hey, Arch, Aussie, oi. Brett says, Vinci says, hey, Brett, just ignore what's in the sky and have another stiff drink. That could be it, too, by the way. You know, maybe some of these people are like a little bit, you know, out there. Brett goes, he said stiff. And a very handsome face your camera is focused on. No, mate. 10:20 a.m. That's not terrible. That's not bad. That's nice. It's a good time. Right? I'm having my second breakfast at that point in time. So when I worked for Grumman for the military way back in the day, all right, at some point, you know, for some of the stuff I was working on, you know, you need a red badge, which is it's beyond secret. Everybody kind of comes in with a secret clearance. When you work certain things, you basically all come in with a secret clearance. So it's like no big deal. But you get the next step up when you start getting involved in sensitive stuff. And there was some, and then that's when, let's see, they kind of folded like right before Desert Storm. And so I knew a lot of what was going on in Desert Storm, and I was a little worried I was going to get drafted in because I pretty much worked on all of that equipment. And they just started to fly the AWAC, which was like the 747 with the big rotodome on the top. But here we used to fly the E-2C Hawkeyes all the time. And I worked on a lot of the ground support equipment along with the F-14s, et cetera, et cetera. So I knew a lot of what the certain capabilities were. But more importantly, I was exposed to things that, well, I guess were surprising. They're surprising to you when you first see them or when you first hear about them, but once you're there for a little while, it's not surprising. We had something like a bubble jet voice recorder. I remember when we were a little bit younger, I remember we would watch Star Trek and computers really kind of sucked. And my friend Arthur and Arthur in particular, would say, I don't want a computer until I can talk to it, like on Star Trek. You mean like this, Arthur? All right. We had something called a bubble jet voice, and look at the AI now, right? We had something called a bubble jet voice recorder, and it would help you do the diagnostics on the equipment that you would pull out of, like, say, for example, the plane. And a lot of that stuff was actually, not all of it was not ahead of its time. In fact, if anything, it was a little bit behind its time deliberately because it was very secure. You couldn't really hack into it. And it was built to handle vibrations and G-loads. So some of the newer stuff was on the ground support, but not necessarily all of it was in the plane. And when I worked on K-Mods, where we updated F-14s to the latest version, and the F-14Ds, which were the holographic, they're kind of like the heads-up displays, but the semi-holographic, the dashboards, all that stuff integrates in. It's fly-by-wire, no more cables. So when she mentioned holograph, they had designed holographic stuff around that time, and even in the 70s. What we have now for holographics, there was some stuff that was done recently. I want to say there was a stunt that they pulled in Arizona. No, it was Nevada. One of the gambling casinos, they put up some really cool stuff. Huge. It was not on a screen. huge, just with the sky as a background. And it was pretty impressive. And I think there was something even in New York or somewhere else where they were trying to show like a UFO floating around. And holographic projections are today, it's not a problem. You can do some pretty amazing holographic stuff. If you make it smaller, could you fly it in a drone? Well, here's the interesting thing. Whatever's flying up there is capable of staying up for 5 hours. You're not doing that on any of the available modern battery technology that we have out there today. So that's impressive. And that's what I want to get to. Why would you be doing something like this, and who's doing it? Well, staying up for something about the size of a car, that's impressive. That's a long time to stay aloft. So what is it doing? It's loitering. Well, what loiters? What would you want that loiters? Well, you would want surveillance equipment to loiter, and you would want weapons packages to loiter, and you would want, things like that to loiter. Who does that? Well, that would be the military. And if you look at the shape of that thing, if you remember back to Desert Storm, they started to fly the stealth bomber. And at that time, the stealth bomber had been out for quite a number of years. It was actually they were getting ready to retire it. And I couldn't help but think, and I would say to my friends, well, that's another reason for this war, because I'm not believing in the WMD stuff. It's just not there. They were flying it to use it, but they didn't want to basically take off from those areas and land. So they were flying them from the Midwest all the way over to Iraq and back. And it was a very long excursion. They never got shot down. You cannot see them on radar. And not with any of the conventional equipment. Between the shapes, which are these angular shapes, which is what this thing has, if it's real, and the coatings, you can't see it with conventional radar. You're not going to see it. Unless, of course, there's a developed military radar, which was different. I mean, some of the stuff that I worked on that we put in portable packages, which with the help of an E2C Hawkeye or the AWAC, it could track many, many hundreds of targets, or if it's in an array, thousands of targets, and it can see things differently. And this was back then. So who can't see it? You mean like conventional commercial radars? Yeah, they're not going to see it. First of all, if it's under 700 feet, they can't see anything. They're blind. They don't all look inward, and they don't all look outward. So there has to be an array of radars in a specific area, dishes that are looking, and you have to kind of tune it to look at something very specific. And most of the radars are not really tuned to look at planes. They don't generally have to. They look at a number of other things, weather events and other stuff. So how do they track planes? Well, that would be the IFF transponder, which this thing may have, but they claim that they're not getting any transponding. Well, if it's a military plane, they don't have to transpond. Doesn't mean it doesn't have an encoder. It just means that it's not transmitting and receiving any of those frequencies that you can see. And people have already mentioned that it seems to be transmitting something because they've picked it up inadvertently on car radios and other stuff. Yeah, but it wouldn't. If they don't want you to see it, well, then it would be stealth. And if they don't want you to know it's there and there's no transponder, then you can't track it. You're not going to see it. And at under 700 feet, you couldn't see it anyway. So that explains why no one can really see it or track it. So if you look at the shape of it, that tells me it's stealth. They don't have to transpond if it's military. And if it's under 700 feet, you wouldn't see it anyway if it doesn't have its transponder on. And I think to take it a little bit further, well, what is it doing at night? Well, it's loitering. So that's probably a weapons package or something that's a surveillance package, which is kind of scary in itself. But it has its lights on. I mean, if it was demons or UFOs, would they really? And they didn't want you to know, totally did not want you to know they were there. They wouldn't be flying. And they have blinking lights in specific patterns. And I wouldn't be surprised if the FAA said, look, I can't stop you, Mr. Military, from whatever it is that you want to do for whatever the hell reason it is. But for God's sakes, if you're flying around at night, we really don't want civilian planes and commercial planes flying into your stupid junk. Can you turn the lights on? that's probably why all the flashing lights. So that would be my guess. Now, of course, why would they be doing it? Who the hell knows? That's all of this is speculation. But from the stuff that I saw years ago, which was, a lot of the stuff is 20, 30 years ahead, stuff that we saw. In some cases more. I mean, the military has technology that's even further ahead than that. Like you can't even put it into a time frame because no time frame exists to say that it's 100 years ahead or whatever. It's just completely different technology. They already fly some really nice UAVs anyway. And they do loiter, but they loiter at high altitude. But it's a different kind of a UAV. Very different. These are long missions that go on for days and weeks. They can carry very large bombs. Now, one of the things that, by the way, that the military is very much into these days is it's a different type of warfare, right? It's what they call fifth and sixth generation, which also includes the nonsense that's been going on for the past 4 years where the government has been constantly lying to us and just refuses to tell us the truth on anything, and then does actually say something that's partially true along with mixed in with bullshit. And that's misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. I mean, the CIA makes its living on this. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, if they start doing something bad, well, then I guess I could definitely say that the people of America know exactly what to do with the planes. All right, we could end that. And they probably know that. My guess is that they're trying to get us primed for something. They're trying to get us used to this. And eventually, as it goes on, people like one of you fellows just said, go back and drink a beer and have a drink. Who cares? And I think that's part of what they want, is to get us so used to it that it's like seeing a plane in the sky or seeing a helicopter fly by, right? I mean, they fly military aircraft out this way all the time. When I was younger, they flew a lot of it because we had so much military presence here. Now it's a lot more rare. I kind of miss seeing a lot of it. Or listening to it, because some of them are very loud. I've heard some recordings of these machines, and you can hear them. They sound like UAVs, right? They sound like, relatively quiet, but they make a machine noise, and they sound like a UAV, like comparable to its size. It sounds familiar, So I don't know. It's not that I wouldn't worry about it. But like I said, if something bad starts happening, I think you know what to do. I think it's not fair that they're doing it. It could also be they're saying to the world, look at us, pump my chest. You guys don't have this. We have it. You might say, well, why don't they just fly them out in the Nevada desert and whatever? Well, they probably have for years. And now they want to show the whole world because of all of the wars and stuff that they've managed to get themselves into. A lot of people have said, well, the United States military isn't what it used to be. They can't shoot anything out of the sky. They can't, push their forces anywhere. The country is broke. I mean, I've heard so many negative things. Well, I wouldn't necessarily count them out. It could just be a statement of, like I said, pumping their chest, getting everybody used to seeing this because it's happening in Florida. It's happening in California. It's happening in some of the Midwestern states now. It's also happening in other countries. So it's not just here off the New Jersey coast. It's been going on for a while. It's just that we happen to be seeing more of it, and it's pretty consistent. And they fly them in the daytime. And as far as the orbs, like I said, and I'm not even going to count out demons and angels, but I don't think that's what's going on. What concerns me is why now? Why now? It's a constant barrage of crazy crap happening constantly, like month after month, year after year. Is it just that they're just bored? Is it that they're going nuts, that they just want one thing after the other, that they can't hold back on all the cool stuff going on? I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Let me catch up with you fellas. Let's see. Yeah, let me put this on. We got that on. All right. Yeah. Jamie goes, just ignore what's in the sky. And that may be what they want. They want you to get used to it and prime you and prime us to seeing it time and time again. And eventually we'd be like, yeah, whatever. You said stiff. Let's see. I have a donk. What's a donk? Steele says, hello, Brett. Remember in the 50s, it was a weather balloon. Well, remember a couple of years, like 2 years ago, that Chinese balloon that was flying across the United States? I mean, one of the comments made from one of the officials in the government said that, well, it's Iran. They have a ship or whatever under the water or on top of the water and a mothership. And first of all, China flew its balloons over the United States, and this current administration refused to shoot it down. That's disgusting. They flew a couple of those damn things, supposedly from China. Well, the man was taking bribes anyway from that place. They should have shot it down. I mean, that is disgusting. How could you, as the United States, allow someone else's surveillance balloon to traverse thousands of miles of your country? That's crazy. Maybe it is, right? Maybe it is Iran. Maybe it's some other country. I doubt it. Maybe it's China, right? Maybe it's UPS. Maybe UPS, because, UPS has been talking about delivering packages. Maybe it's like the new version of storks. Remember the stork used to deliver children? I was delivered by a stork. I don't know if you guys were, but I know my mom told me that the stork brought me. So maybe it's like the new technology version of storks, and UPS is going to be delivering packages and children in the future. Like, they're just warming things up just to see, plotting out everything. Like, you remember when Google used to drive by with their Google vans when they were doing Street View? My friend Steve, it was really like criminal in a way. He says, I got to show you this. I said, what do you got? He sends me over this picture on Facebook, and it's him. One of the vans had drove past, and he was working on the brakes on his van or whatever out in the street, and he gets up with this like surprised face, right? Deer in headlights. And the Google van, whatever it was, the Street Map View van, snapped a shot, right? And it's him. And I'm like, oh man, it's not still there. They changed it to something else, but they took that shot, and it was up there. And I'm like, dude, this is getting pathetic. Okay, they don't care, right? Remember I was telling you a few weeks ago, it was like, I don't know, a month or so ago, that like they canceled my homeowner's insurance 3 times because they looked at my roof and they said, your roof is shot. We're canceling your insurance. And then one of them actually sent out a person. The guy lived upstate and he came down. They didn't like a whole bunch of things because my house needs work. Well, it was a couple of weeks back. Big Mike says to me, oh, they did the same damn thing to me, except they don't know I'm a roofer. So, yeah, a drone checked out his house. His insurance company told him, we're shutting you down. We're canceling your insurance. Your roof sucks. And he's a roofer. So he went up there and he roofed it. And then he sent them some stuff. And they were like, oh, okay, we'll keep your insurance. That's why I often say, like with the stuff that I have out in the garden, right? You guys have seen the garden. Like, I'm trying to clean it up a little bit because don't you think that at some point, right, they're going to look at that and they're going to go, somebody's going to look at it with a stick up their butt and they're going to go, what's all this lawnmower stuff? Shame on you. How dare you keep more than a few lawnmowers, one lawn. You shouldn't even have a gas-powered lawnmower. It should be a battery lawnmower. How dare you? I'm calling the town on you and the insurance company, and then the fire department's going to get, and then next thing you know, all of these drones are going to be literally over my house, right, with lights on, right, and they're all going to land, and some tiny little black-eyed cat-looking dude is going to walk out of one of these things, right, gray, one of those alien grays, and be like pointing his finger with the light on the end of it, going, you have too many lawnmowers. We're canceling you. You're canceled. Let's get to the next segment. Yeah, Amazon Prime is coming. It's the Amazon Prime invasion, right? Alien invasion. Oh my God. So let's get to the next segment. Jamie O goes, Russia is on the cutting edge with their T-55 tank they are now using in Ukraine. T-55 was the first one used in 48. That was a nice tank. I wouldn't mind one. Right. David goes, Domino's pizza delivery every 30 minutes or less, right? It's Domino's. It's Domino's showing up at your house. Okay. My daughter says to me the other day, she goes, they just had a report of a drone in the area. I said, is that right? Yeah. I said, what happened? He said, well, it was a friend of mine. They said they tried, because the drone came in and then started saying something. So what did it say? So it was like some kind of loudspeaker thing, something like, we've been trying to reach you for your car recall, right? But we can't get a hold of you. Your car warranty is about to expire, but we haven't been able to get a hold of you. Yeah, they're going to be like marketing drones, right? Just coming at you, right? Constantly chasing you around, getting you to buy something because nobody's buying anything, right? So they're going to be like chasing us down the street. Buy this now, wait, don't run away. And then another bunch of drones will come in front of you and then corner you, and you'll be like, oh, stop, I don't want any more pizza. I don't need anything from Amazon. I don't want any of this. Stop. Oh, God. That's the future we have, fellas and ladies. Lady, right? Drones will be chasing us around, right? You're going to go get in your car and you're trying to start your car and there's drone interference because next thing you know, somebody like the old lady, she ordered something from Amazon or whatever, and you go to get in your car and you go to back out and this drone comes and lands on your freaking porch. You're like, whoa, I almost hit that stupid drone. What the hell's going on here? Oh, my God. It's the clip from Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, drone delivery, knock, knock, right? The drone is just like hovering right by your door. And you peek through the little peek hole, right? And you're like, what is this thing right there? What is this? It's a pizza box with a drone on top of it. Go away. Are there any humans left on the planet? Remember when we were younger, right? Well, people my age, right? Kids would be coming down the block on their bicycle with a banana seat and their big handlebars, right? The big ape hangers and the big bag with the newspapers. And they'd whip the thing right onto your driveway. And then a bunch of years later, right? This is like when I bought the house, I remember. In fact, when I had my daughter, the lady that, she just retired actually, the lady that started a little business watching kids, daycare, she did newspaper delivery in the morning, and a lot of adults would do that because, again, that was another one of the many every 7-year episodes of downturns in the economy, another bubble that bursted. And it used to be kids, then it was adults delivering newspapers. And then it used to be kids delivering pizzas, and now it's adults delivering pizzas. And then it used to be humans delivering all this stuff. Now it's drones delivering everything. All right, I'm done. All right. I think I've milked that far enough. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. I want to turn this part off. Yeah, we'll just switch back to that so I can get rid of that. Oh, I like that. Look, I can kind of go back and forth now. See, I have it set up. Watch. Isn't that cool? I can just go like that. I'm getting there. I'm learning the technology. For an old guy, all right, I'm kind of savvy. I'm a little bit savvy. Let me turn that other thing back on. Let's see what I'm up to next. I want to hit Maters, and I want to do the thing with David. So let's hit Maters next. What time is it? Hold on. We got Pete. It's an hour and 16. We're going to go a little over the 2-hour mark. Let's hit Maters, and then we'll go for a P stop. Let me bring this over here. Let me queue up Maters. There's a couple of things I wanted to look at, but one of them in particular. Let's go to that monitor and settle in for a minute. So let me put my headset on. I want to just run this short real quick, but I want to find the actual video on it because I used to do stuff like this.
Hi guys, I want to show you. I've got some of this already set up.
That's his battery box.
I got both my 12 volt, 100 amp hour batteries set in parallel, positive, positive, and negative, negative. So I'm still running 12 volt, but it should give me 2,560 amp hours, or amps, watts, whatever you want to call it. But of course, I've got it going up. Of course, there's the ground, there's the positive, and this thing is showing 13.1, which of course is dark and everything out, so I'm not getting any power coming in, but you can tell by my voice I'm still feeling a little bit on the sick side.
Yeah, you sound like shit.
Start feeling it Saturday, but there you go.
Now there's another one.
Got that, and of course I got my 200
he's coming back to
amp fuse put in there.
Yeah,
just
that's
in case
nice.
I'm pulling too much off of an inverter, which that one there is a.
These guys see that? Hold on, wait.
Just in case I'm pulling too much.
I can't. I don't know how to pause that. Hold on.
All right, guys. One inverter, which that one there is a. Modified,
it's a little harder to control the shorts. There's the fuse.
Put in there just in case I'm pulling too much off of an inverter, which that one there is a modified. It's not pure sine, so I'll get that swapped out later.
Yeah, but that's still a good inverter though, for lights and things.
There you go. That's what I've gotten done so far. I've got to get the insulation cut for the. I've got the insulation.
All right, now let me see if I can find. I didn't get a chance to look. Let's just go to his videos. His videos. And there was one in particular. It was a little bit while back now because he's been cranking out videos. Yeah, here we go. All right, there was another one too where he was doing this on the tape. There's the fuse. Oh, here, wait. Yeah,
hey guys,
he starts his
here's
layout.
What I've gotten done so far. I got my board and everything. There's actually 3 different boards. I actually did the mill work and everything on, got them connected together on the back side, but got everything secured down so far. Got my 1500 watt inverter, and it got me my positive and negative bus bars. Of course, there's my fuse that'll put in there.
There's the fusible link.
I got me a little 12 volt fuse block.
Yeah, it's like a distribution
and
block.
Down here, this is what I got. I've just got it on here, but I'll take it back off because I gotta connect the wires up underneath. But that's my battery disconnect. So right there turns power on, and then right there, of course, got off. That way I can disconnect the power going to the bus bars and everything else. And then right here, this is the breaker that's going to be coming from the
on a little
panels.
Piece of DIN rail.
So if I want to be able to disconnect from there, which this is in the off position, so it'll kill power going to my little MPPT solar controller. And that's
wait. It says MPPT solar. What is that word? Chat. It's supposed to be charge controller, but you know these Chinese, they're trying to do the right thing, fellas, but it's the department that works with English. You'd think that they would like R's, like the T. How did the T get in it? You think usually R's, they like R's, but I guess not right now.
We'll say a 60 amp one.
And it's got the USB on it too.
To protect the battery being overcharged, I've got this little breaker here.
That's nice.
Everything going on. So I get battery power coming in on this. It'll come up to right here. And then from here I'll get my cable and everything made going into my supply, the inverter. But I'll have this little amp, the fuse and everything.
Fusible link.
It'll focus there.
It'll blow out if you pulls too much.
32 volt. So that'll work. So I'll have that in between, protecting everything there. And of course, I've seen some people, they actually will run.
And it's circuit breaker protected
a fuse
too.
In between bus bar and here. I'm going, why do that? Because you got fuses all right in here. That's going to protect that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've got this breaker here, which it'll,
But you know what? You can never have too much protection when you're ironing out something, right? I throw fuses in stuff when I do diagnostics on anything with like a 12-volt car battery or even a tractor battery. Because those things you can weld. You can weld with this power. With the batteries that you have, you will weld stuff together and cause fires.
When it pops out and everything, it'll pop up like that. Just reset. And like I said, I kill the power coming in from the solar panels up to that. So I'll get this mounted. Like I said, I got wire coming in tomorrow.
Nice.
That'll connect basically everything else except for my main power, which I've got already.
All right, now hold on. I thought there was... Let me go back. I thought there was another one, because like I said, he's been cranking out videos. Don't forget, the links are in the description. KenSmallEngines, Henry, and Mater. So, yeah, here's a shot of it. He was fooling around with some of this stuff here. I want to just hit this one. But you see, he's got... a lot of times he'll break it down. Like, he just puts out videos on the different projects. Do you do folders, by the way? Do you have folders? You have playlists. But you should probably have some of this, I guess, maybe in folders. Yeah, let's just take a peek at this one.
Alright guys, just want to let you know that the battery is sitting right there. And I got my...
Yeah, let me pause it. Hold on.
Right here. And of course, right...
Just so you can see from the last pick, right, of him laying it down on the board. Now, we used to put this stuff in big control panels, Hoffman and Hammond and NEMA rated panels, exterior rated, interior rated, and they were on steel, and we'd run Panduit and all that. But that's professional. I did that for a living. And they got expensive. But you don't have to do that. You can lay them out on a wood board. Before, I'll come back to that in a minute, but you can kind of just get a feel for a little bit power to the from the batteries coming up. Here's his battery disconnect, right? Here's the negative side. Here's the positive side. He's supplying this fuse panel. He's coming over to this guy here. There's his charge controller, and he'll explain the rest in a minute. There's a hole through his shed, which he says, yeah, I know, I got a hole through metal or whatever, and I got to put a bushing there or whatever. But that's out, I think, to the solar panels.
Right now, I am running everything off of the little Lavelle solar generator for my lights I've got right now. So I'm fixing to go turn those off, and we're going to turn, actually, you know what? Let me turn on power here. So, let's switch that on. Whoa! And we're going to turn off, come over here, and we're going to turn the Lavelle off. And there you go. And right now, as you can tell, that is just one of those LED, 4-foot LED lights I got off of Amazon. Wow, that is bright in here. And of course, right now, I don't know how good it's going to show, but it's showing I got 13.4 volts and everything. Battery's all the way up. I got a little bit coming in on off the solar panels, which right now I'm just using the 2 original ones, but I'm fixing to make some stuff for brackets. I got more brackets and everything in, which is going to be a lot easier to do. So right now, yeah, like I said, I'm running off of solar. I have power now out here in the garage. I mean, yeah, the way I got my wires coming in from my solar panel,
yeah,
trust me, that's going to be fixed here soon.
Do what you got to do.
I don't like the way that is. I just had to get it done just temporarily.
Get everything going.
As a couple of people say, test and tune and everything. But there you go. I've got...
And you got the inverter. So you got 120.
One of those LED lights. And eventually I will have all the...
Let's see now. Hold on.
Bought 2 more.
I think he goes... Where is he?
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... here.
Yeah, he's going over here.
Hard to see. There you go. But right here in this area, I'm going to run my wiring over here, so that way I can put in my little switches to turn on all the LED lights.
Now that I think you did later, right, Mater?
Like as you can tell, the Lavelle is off, and so is my Blue Eddy. So I'm running just off that 100 amp 12 volt battery. So there you go. Like I said, it's just that one light. So it's getting there. So anyways, let me... And
all right, there you go. Let me come back real quick. So I think that's pretty cool. That's a lot, decent amount of power. Now, there's other options, right? There's all kinds of stuff you can get today. Check out his channel. He does all kinds of stuff like that and fooling around with it. Plus, he does woodworking and whatever else. So, people what you like. I just think it's really neat that between the Blue Yeti and some of the other stuff, remote power, whether you want it in your shed or an outbuilding and you don't feel like, being married to the power authority, I keep thinking about stuff like that. It's not on the table anytime soon for me because everything is just too expensive, and I got so many other projects. But I really get a kick out of some of that stuff. Other than the air compressor, the welder, the drill press, a handful of other tools. Right, a lot of what I do in here during the day, even the computer. If I had a modest solar power system, I could probably have enough light, and maybe with even the computer on a really good day when the sun is out, it would be enough power. Of course, not for the air compressor and all the other stuff, definitely not. But if you think about it, though, if you could actually have enough light to do what you want to do, a lot of the tools today, you're just recharging some of these, 20 volt, 28 volt, 14 volt batteries. You got your hand wrenches. A lot of us are using some basic lights and some other stuff that are rechargeable batteries. We are getting kind of close to, I wouldn't say off grid, but less grid. Less is more. Anyway, let's take a look. Let's see, what time is it? Pee break time? Yeah, it's an hour and 29 minutes and 20 seconds. I still have more stuff I want to do. Let's take a quick pee break. Let's bring up the pee lady. Just we haven't seen her in a while, right? Make sure I don't echo her. You gotta shove over, P lady. I got some stuff to open up. I'm coming. We clear the table while the P lady is doing her thing. Move some stuff out the way. Let's see, what do we got? Hold on. We got some stuff to look at. You got to move over, P lady. You got. We're doing good. I should be able to get done in a 2-hour time frame. We're an hour and 32 minutes. Yeah, we'll get done. Lady, you got to go. You got to move. Shit, you got to admit though, she's got nice legs. I don't know. Maybe it's a guy. I don't know. He's got nice legs. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh. That just does not sound right when I say that at all. All right, I'm back. Let's take a look at, let me close that out. So yeah, check out his page. He's done more. That's a little bit older. So let's see, we got a couple things. So speaking of lights and battery operated, so I did pick up, I don't think they're in here. I don't think I got them, but I did, thanks to Ken, I did actually pick up some flashlights because I've been complaining about my flashlights, and I don't know if they're any good. They're cheap, but they came in a pair, and they're the ones with like the blade light, right, and the magnet on the bottom. Now I have one that's kind of nice. I've showed you guys before, but it doesn't have the right LED, so it flickers when the camera sees it. And I had some drop lights, fluorescent drop lights, that this past year I was using a lot, particularly on like the tractor and Mike's tractor. So something smells weird. So they burned out, and I'm like, well, I don't want to throw them out. So I got some tape, right? Because you guys know I like to paint stuff. So I got some nice 2-inch wide tape. That's bonus. All right, I need that stuff. I also picked up from Permatex, I picked up the Ultra Black gasket maker. And you guys know I like to use this stuff. I think you can see it. Yeah, we're zoomed in enough. There's not a lot of light in here, but it's the Ultra. It's not the regular black. This stuff is even more oil and gas resistant. Now, not only do, of course, I use it on gaskets and everything, and Actually, I got to pull the valve covers on this cowie head, these two cowie heads. I'm working on the right. The right ain't right, fellas. We got to make it right. You know the big right? Big yellow right? But this can resist even better. Like on the Briggs, the primer plates and everything. I've been doing this for years. Like those videos actually do very well, I got to say, in the summertime. So I glue them down. But this stuff seems to work even better than the regular black. Because when gas gets on something after a little while, if it keeps getting on it, I think this is like one of the brands that you can use that just will resist it for a very long time, like years. But the ultra black is even better. So I got that. Again, thanks to Ken. And then, is this the flashlight? Yeah. I wanted two tiny ones, like two small ones. These probably need to be charged. Just for shoving into areas where, and because my shop lights broke, I'm like, well, I need a real light, but I can't afford like a real nice light. But I do need some smaller ones, so I picked these up. And they come with the USB charging cables. And I just need something small. Let's see, did they come on? Oh, look at that. Yeah, here they are. So you got the light on the end, right? E.T. And the magnet on the bottom, and there's two of them. And these were very inexpensive, but they're just small. Now, of course, I don't know what rechargeable batteries are in here, but they're USB rechargeable. And let's just see if they affect. It doesn't look, yeah, they're not strobing, which is good, because that was one of my concerns. Is, because my other one here, let me go get it. I can take this off, I don't need it. Yeah, these are nice. Now, I've got all kinds of like little flashlights, but nothing that is really suitable. Like this one here, it's heavy. It's, all aluminum, and it's actually, this is supposed to be for your car. My brother got one for my daughter, so you can cut your seatbelt there, and you can break your glass there. So maybe now I'll actually leave this one in my van. That's in case, fellas, you drive off. Don't laugh. You drive off the edge of the pier and you wind up inside your car sinking in the bay. Like my friend Melissa's daughter did a couple of years ago, literally right over here, right over by the docks. So somehow she hit the gas thinking it was the brake and went right off, right the end of the pier into the drink at night. And if she had this, okay, she could have cut herself out and broke the glass and climbed out. But no, some young man, one of us, right, saw this pretty young lady do something really dangerous and stupid, and he jumped in after her and rescued her ass. And I hope she married him. I don't know what happened after that. I have these crazy stories, and they're all effing true. So, big shout out to Ken. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Ken. Thanks. I love it. This nice little work light, cheap. Hold on, let me shut it off. Hold on. It's one of those where you got to keep pressing buttons. Work light, nice, and two of them. I think these will work good, and they were not expensive at all. They were like, I don't know, like $20 or something like that. I was like, for $20, I think that's what it was. Like, how do you not try? Like, I'm down on lights, so I'm like, for $20, I could double team these things. I'll use one at a time until I need more light. But when one dies, you got the other one in hand, right? And if they break in a couple of years, it's like you're not going to cry. I mean, of course, I want something nice. Who is it? Was it what's his name over at? What do you call it? Performance, not Pate's Performance. The other one, Eliminator, right? He bought that shop light that was like, I don't know, hundreds of dollars, right? It was like almost 300, over 200. What was it? It was a Milwaukee one or whatever. It was really nice and all. I would love to have that, but I don't have that kind of money. But this is nice. So big shout out. What was in the other box? Let's see. Hold on. Very happy with that. That's going to go quite well with my endeavors around here. And then there was some other stuff. It was like the basic utilities of life. of shop life. For those of us that run shops, know that there's never enough stuff that you can keep in-house. So this was something you guys were telling me, oh, okay, so this is a project. This is a 3-way switch that I needed for my buffer, right? It's only operating on one speed, so we're going to get to that. But this is 1/8 heat shrink tubing, but with the glue on the inside. And I ran out of 1/8 heat shrink tubing, so I figured, well, kind of wanted to buy the the red and the black, and it comes in a nice kit. But I'm like, you know what? I just need some. It was cheap, but I just need something. I'm like, so why don't I get the one with the glue on the inside? Right, even better. I mean, there are situations where you don't want that, but I'm like, well, generally, no. I could maybe start going to stuff with glue on the inside. But that's nice. Now, is this the other one? Yeah, I think so. So I used to get the mil-spec rated and the Panduit rated stuff. And I've been running out because, for my old business, we used to get that shit. But I've been running out, and I really didn't have much money, so I was like, you know what? I need something. Yeah, this is it. So I bought the small kit, and these are the ones with the glue. Is that one of these lights still on? Which light is still on? That light's not on. Where's that coming from? Oh, it's this light. Right, so all of the different sizes. I don't know which one I'm on now. And they have a bit of the glue inside. They have a bigger pack that is only a couple of dollars more. I'm like, you know what? When I was looking at it originally, I'm like, there's certain sizes that I know I don't have. I don't need that many, but they fit over certain studs. So these are the eyelet rings and the forks and the butt splices and the blade connectors. And this one had enough of every size that I typically use, and that's also missing from the kit that I have. So I was like, awesome. I can at least have something. And if I need to get something more specific, maybe I'll just buy a bigger box of just the one size. So again, that's just so awesome. I mean, I do a lot of wiring and a lot of repairs that way. Oh, let me put it down. So emergency stuff is averted now, and I don't have to think about it. Let me catch up with you guys. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Yeah, we got the split screen. Split screen. Oh, we got to move that out of the way. Hold on. We got to move this guy over. And have the chat pop back out again like I had it. That's it. Crocodile Dundee. He definitely sounded like crap. Yeah, he did. He did. It's the U.S. military. It probably is. It probably is. If you notice, I changed the MPT charge controller to a better one. No, I didn't notice that. I know you've been updating stuff. What'd you do with the old one? You just kept it around? Oh, okay. Steele says a YouTube playlist instead of folders. I don't really have playlists. I keep them in folders, and I got to go back. My folders are nice because I do a lot of different things, so I can keep certain subjects in folders. Is especially with mowers, I do Toros or in Toros, Craftsman's or in Craftsman's, and then I have all these other folders. But now I want to create some playlists. Every year I try to go over my YouTube channel a little bit, and I started looking at it, but I haven't had the time yet. But it's usually around this time of year or in the beginning of the year. So that's something I want to do next. But folders are nice because the folders, you have very specific things in it, and you might want to start separating, not just have playlists, but actually start separating because he does woodwork and all kinds of other stuff. People have very specific interests these days. It's very hard having a channel that does a bunch of different things because you wind up killing your channel because you did something that somebody else said, I don't want to watch that. Why are you showing me? I don't care about this. Who cares about tape? I want to watch a show about knives, and you did something about knives once. Right? It's just how people are today. I often say, Musty One would never get launched today. Nobody would watch him. It's bizarre. I'm making great use of the flashlight I reviewed in my channel. I know, Brett. Yeah, that's a nice one. Or if a drone hits your car. There's definitely going to be drone accidents, right? Well, there was one already where they said that, I forget where it was, but the officials were complaining because it disrupted a car accident rescue, helicopter rescue. And that's bad, right? You know, if a helicopter's coming to rescue your ass from a car accident, it's because you're in a bad way or you're very far. But in this case, usually you're in a bad way. You need to get to the hospital quick. So having a drone flying in your way is a problem. And it could just be the helicopter pilot was concerned or got startled or got scared or just said, I don't know what the hell to do. Because what the hell do they know to do? How does a rescue helicopter pilot in any confidence say, oh, that's not a problem. They're always, well, maybe one day that'll happen when, they're always here. It's not going to be a problem. But right now, what do you think they're saying? They're saying the same thing we're saying. What the hell is this shit? What is this crap? It's in my way. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if it's going to jut out in front of me. I'm not dying because of this stupid thing that I have that no one seems to know what it is. It's in my airspace is what it is. So I got all that stuff out of the way. Let's get to my brother. Let me see. And then we can get out of here, I think. We got a couple of things I did so far. Let me catch up. See if I can just transition back to that. Let me minimize this here. Let me cue this up. You're probably going to hear it. Hold on. And then I got one more box to open after, and we'll get out of here. All right, let me cue it up. Oh, look. Isn't that pretty? Hold on. I got to find it. Hold on. It's here somewhere. Here we go. Here, we'll back it up. Hold on. Let me get to him, for him, helping out. Welcome to Archer's Garage After Hours. And this is my brother David. And I want to say thank you for him, to him, for him, helping out on the garage, and more recently with that big Odyssey battery. Oh, it looks like it's everything else, and just being my big older brother. So yeah, I got a goodie bag for him. It's just some looks like it's out of sync. It's let's give it to him and see what he says. Yeah, it is out of sync. All right, goodie bag alert. I haven't checked it out, so
let me start with the obvious.
Proctology gloves.
Procto gloves, nitrile exam gloves.
Yep.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with these.
Well, in case you need gloves for something, which would probably be the next thing, just in case, or whatever else you might need.
Good.
Don't look at our lips. Painting or whatever you want to cover your hands with. Checking the oil, doing oil changes, cleaning stuff.
Good.
Picking up dog poop with your bare hands is not good.
I'm not prone to that, but painting.
Yeah, painting. Let's see what else we got.
Okay. An empty bottle of Super Clean.
Empty bottle of Super Clean. Because these bottles, fellas, if you ever get Super Clean or anything product like this, these are chemical bottles. So that means you can put, I even got like petroleum in there, like mineral spirits and things like that. Yeah, because the spray, it's off. So I have all the bottles are off, right? Because I know you're going to. So you rinse them out. So if you want to put a mixed Super Clean, or like 50-50 or 25, or you want to put an acid in, a light acid, or you want to put like a mineral spirits in, or kerosene, or any kind of chemical, because they actually sell chemical bottles separately. You could buy them online or in a lot of these other stores, and they hold up better. Another thing I do is I mix a little bit of bleach in with a little bit of regular detergent, and I clean lawnmower bags with that, and just things around the shop. I'll reach for that. So I try to make sure, that I repurpose my containers appropriately. Let's keep going.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get a chance to check this footage. Yeah. That's real. I got it off. So
very good.
Yeah. You don't want it to leak.
It looks like it's out of sync, but who cares?
So that way you got
the
short.
Now this is the stuff that I've been asking you about.
Yeah.
Because you're cleaning everything with it.
Yeah. I'm cleaning like everything with Super Clean. Many of the people know.
How did it work on your toes? And
yeah, it does not your body though. You don't want to be.
All right.
That's why the gloves and glasses, but you're always wearing your glasses anyway.
Yeah.
So they just can't. By the way, we'll show some of that stuff off maybe on like Saturday night or something. Super Clean just gave me a little bit more small care package. Usually they give me more, but you know the economy, everything's getting real tight, so they actually cut back.
It's going to get better.
It's going to get better. But for now, we got to take what blessings we have, and let's see what else we got in here.
All right, now this looks good, very good.
And I would open the bag because I want to show everybody. This is what I mentioned earlier. That's the HIPAA shirt, and these are like canvas. Now, there's only one size. I don't have any for sale or any more to give away. I always have to start with the family first.
This is really, I'm telling you, this. I have felt this material before.
It's heavy.
And this is like ripstop nylon.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
If you understand what that is, but it doesn't get pulls in it.
Yep. Very tight weave.
I'm wearing one now.
If you take a 48 or 45 through the...
Yeah, it doesn't.
A 38 or a 45.
It won't damage the shirt.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So shout out to HIPAA. And I thought it would be nice. And, you know, it's large. I think it's a very large.
Yeah, very large.
I wear mine over a lot of stuff. Actually, I'm wearing a HIPAA shirt somewhere in here. Arch, can you not get naked for us? This is the shirt here under one of my layers because it's so cold today. So perfect time of year for black and very heavy shirts. So big shout out to HIPAA on that one.
This is, it doesn't say what it is. It says it's 4 cotton fabrics. It might mean it is solid.
Is there any polyester in it? It's so heavy gauge.
It is very heavy, yeah. Which in fact, it probably is some, you might want to test this. It may be some type of waterproof or water resistant.
It might be, yeah.
In which case, I really would appreciate that because I like going outside.
Yeah.
When it's wet, I don't like a lot of heavy clothing on. I just prefer water.
Well, when it's
resistant.
cold out, that's the ticket. We got one more item, and I want to get something too.
Hold on here. I've got one more item. I'll get a leg up on it here.
And then I want to get what you got me.
I am an honorary Arch's Garage member.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. And also, a shout out to my friend TJM. It's like TJ.
Hey,
like
TJ, you still there?
So TJ, let me shut the heat off. TJ, thanks for the shirts. Can you see it all? Yeah. As long as the bag is out of the way. Yeah.
That's TJ. He was here early. I don't know if he's still here.
So thanks to
Shout
TJ
out to
for
TJ.
that because I was able to have a few extras to give away to family and such. And I wanted to show you fellas, my brother got me some of these little bags, and if I can find it in here. So he gives me this bag, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, all of these pouches. So you guys can see, it's basically crazy glue. Instafix. Right, is it focusing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's kind of bright, but...
Yeah.
So then I'm looking in there, because I actually asked my daughter the other night, I said, do we have any crazy glue? I got to fix something. She goes, I don't know, Dad, maybe Mom has some, I don't know. So he comes over and he gives me that crazy glue, and then he hands me the bag, and I'm like, what? So all of this is all crazy glue in these
now
little
I have
packages.
all of
so
the crazy glue.
All of the crazy glue.
Now let me explain something here. This is crazy glue with the hardener.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
It works.
It's not crazy glue. It's Instafix.
Instafix. The Instafix you apply first to the object you want to fix or seal. It also seals temporarily.
Yeah.
You add the hardener, which is a powder, and you can either mix them together or let them sit. I found that if you let them sit,
just leave it.
Just leave it. And this stuff gets. I gotten some on my fingernail, and I tried all kinds of ways to take it off. It's already been about a month ago, and it's still on there.
Yeah, I ain't getting that.
We'll have to try that out. So I'll be looking into that because I want to see what it does, and I'll read up a little bit more on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of neat. And it's got this like, what are these? Just colors for the little balls or something? It's not an applicator, is it?
No, it's just a color cap. So you don't want to mix them up.
The label.
Yeah, it does.
They'll get the cap stuck.
So when it
That's above your pay grade. Don't bother figuring it out.
Yeah, I know. I just want to use it, but that would be nice so you can apply it, work what you want to do, and then maybe put the hardener on it. I don't know. We'll find out. I got to read the directions before use. But other than that, I just want to introduce everybody to my brother David and say thank you to him and thank you to everyone else. And also, this is now after Thanksgiving, so we're coming up on the holidays. depending upon when I show this or whatever, I want to say thank you to TJM, to HIPAA, to Super Clean, to my brother David, and to everybody else for watching Archer's Garage all year long, and hopefully well into next year as well.
And if
I'll
you
see you
can't do
guys
anything
later.
else, be kind to one another.
Yeah, yeah. And well, you can make fun of me.
That costs you nothing.
Yeah, that's
See you
cheap.
later, David.
All right. Nice. Oh, I got one more thing I want to show you, and I will show some more stuff on Maters next time because I may have probably had the audio off, but go check out Maters. I got one more thing I want to show you guys before we get out of here. And so Mike was here, Big Mike, and let's see. Let me bring this up. I'm going to run this footage. Again, this is all raw footage, but by the way, I noticed the out of sync stuff. I did an update to my video editor, and this seems to be like the last update that they had. I noticed stuff was out of sync. I didn't get a chance to go over certain things because it got late and I got busy. But the past two updates, I think they're screwing up, which can happen. Let me cue this up. Let me see where this pops up. Hold on. Bring this over to this monitor, maybe. Yeah, we'll bring this monitor. Let me cue it up. So Big Mike was here.
Right,
yeah, it's queued up. Hold on. Let's come over to the right monitor.
Out. And it's getting late. It's almost dark. But Big Mike just dropped this thing off. All right, it's super cold out. And it's getting late. It's almost dark. But Big Mike just dropped this thing off.
Big Mike!
We'll get a maybe better look at it tomorrow, or it's really, really cold. Although the wind did die down. We've been out for like 3 hours, and I'm frozen stiff. It's in pretty good shape. Now, these are in good shape here. We had them extended. These, there is some rust towards the bottom. I don't think it's that bad, but we got to re-extend them again. They look like they were okay from first blush. The valve is moving. It can be rebuilt. It's been plugged. The hoses are not great, but this is the outer covering. So you can see there, but they might be no good. They might leak. Be my guess. I'm not sure how they were fastened or what they went on, but that would require all new hosing, especially down there. Down here, this is where it mounted. I forget what he said. Maybe Massey or something is what it was originally mounted to. But you got a lot here to work with. Obviously, the hosing is expensive. Distribution block here is broken. That rotted. The first step would be trying to mount it. I'm thinking one of the Sunstars is the biggest machines that we have. Well, that's another discussion, but there's a couple $100 in hoses here at least, maybe $300 in hoses. The deck section
and fittings,
about most of it, 3/4 of it is rotted, but you don't have to replace all of it, but you would want to replace the bottom section. We could do that. Looks like somebody had well, it rotted, but if you look there, like the front edge, leading edge is not that bad. Well, that's not a problem. The biggest problem is mounting it and the hoses. You put some bolts on, so it's bolted together now at least. $100, that's not bad. The pump is closed up, and it feels like it's spinning. So there's a couple of things that we can do. Anyway, it's made by Johnson. I'll get a closer look at it tomorrow or something in the light. Johnson there. Johnson Works. We'll clean that up and get a closer look at it. Get some more info on it. Tomorrow when it's a little brighter out, I'll just give it a quick wipe or something, and we'll try to get some more intel out of it. But the biggest expense is the hoses. I think I know how to mount it. I liked his idea, was just basically just drive. We'll cut this section off because this is not going to fit. So we'll just remove that and just drive on in between the rails and then see where it lays. But I already see it in my mind. I kind of have an idea about a cross brace, like box steel about this size, to go underneath our tractor, come right across, cut this section off. This is
or
the
flat
tank,
steel.
but we can still keep it sealed, but just basically lay it on a box rail and position the box rail up underneath our frame rails and try to move this thing back and forth to see where it wants to lay. Obviously as far back as possible. There's a lot of room to the front for the front of our tractors, but the more we can bring it into the middle or towards the rear, the better. So it's a possibility. For the money, I said, just drop it here or whatever. Either I'll use it or you'll use it. He'll probably put too much weight in it because he's got trees and stuff he wants to move. And the problem with our tractors is they don't get good traction. They punch so far above their weight that you wind up, this could lift 2,000 pounds, but you'll never move it. You might even be able to distribute the weight on our tractor, which I would say that's at least 1,000 pounds too much, but you won't be able to move it. You won't get the traction. So, but this material here to work with. So we'll have to see what comes of it. In the meantime, I think just leave it here for now.
Yeah, it's cold. All right, I'm coming back. Isn't that cool? Oh, let me minimize this. Bring you guys back up. Let's see. Yeah, nice little clip. Let's see. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure why, but I got to troubleshoot that, but I haven't had time to fool around with that. So I got to check on a few things. But I think, sometimes DaVinci screws. The problem with all of these different pieces of software and things that you plug in, especially in Windows, things don't always play nice. And for some reason or other, they change stuff, and then when they change stuff, it's like, why did you change it? It was working fine. Anyway, so that loader, the Simplicity Sunstar, and for those of you that maybe are not living under a rock and do know about Zippo, go check out Zippo, another shout out. Zippo's got tons of Sunstars, and of course he's got them set up in different ways, and he's been collecting them. And he once said a while back, I'm pretty sure it was him, is that what you kind of want to do with some of these compact tractors, it's subcompact really is what a Sunstar is. It's built really well. And like I said, it punches beyond, above its weight. But its problem is it's a subcompact. And if you take a subcompact and you drive it up next to a compact tractor like a Ford AN or whatever, or some of the others, or I mentioned him like a Terramite, because I've used a Terramite here. I've also used a bigger loader and backhoe here. I've used a few of them. They're much bigger and they have a lot more weight, especially even a Terramite, which is still a 20 horsepower, powered machine. It's got the big boom on the back, so it's got weight. Our tractors do not have weight. And I said to him, I said, the problem you run into is I've got 2 chains on a set of very aggressive rear tires, and it's not a full-time posi, locker. It's a part-time locker. You have to put your foot on a lever on your right foot heel, and you have to hold it down, and it's uncomfortable, and it's not meant to have full-time lock. And it's short, and it's squat, so it's shorter than a compact. So when you start putting weight on the front, like even when I move some of these, like the right, I went to go shove the right forward, and I was just on a little bit of a grade, and I lost traction, and then I had to hit the posi locker just to move the right. This is something that I've noticed with those forks that I made that you just saw on that at the end of that clip. I can move a lot of stuff around, but it will lose traction, especially as things get moist and wet and muddy. Even with all those chains, the tractor weighs about 1,000 pounds. So when you put a lot of weight on the front, whether with what I'm doing, the way I have it set up, or loader, it will start to run into limitations real quick. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine who grew up on a farm, and he was talking about how his brother one time got a piece of equipment stuck, just trying to cut a section of the property that they didn't really cut that off. It was pretty rare, and it had a hill. He's like, well, I can go down the hill, and the first couple of passes went fine, and then he came down the hill, and it got sideways and got jammed into a tree, and he was like, well, why don't we just cut? They couldn't get it off. They brought out the four-wheel drive. They had a little Willys. Couldn't pull it off. And so, why don't we just cut the tree? And he's like, well, you know, when Dad comes home and sees that looks out his window and sees that there's a tree missing. The lesson was that they couldn't get it unstuck, and then they had to call a neighbor, and the neighbor had to come over with a big piece of equipment. And the lesson is you don't put your biggest piece of equipment out there in an area where you might get stuck, because if you do that, you need an even bigger piece of equipment to come and get the other piece of equipment out. So the neighbor had to come. Mike's got a big property, and he bought, I think I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago, he bought that nice saw, right? That, plank saw, make lumber out of it. So some of the stuff he's going to cut up, you can drag it. He's thinking you can pick it up and throw a lot of it in a bucket or lift it or whatever. Again, the problem is going to be not being able to move it. Now, this thing needs several $100s in fittings and hoses, and it's a universal system. So it's wider than the tractor, which isn't a problem. And I can mount it, but I made his tractor gorgeous. And his primary thing that we did this year when we went over the tractor was to get the deck going. And you guys will see the deck videos are coming soon. Deck video. So he was using something very similar to my right. He was using a Skag with the Silky on the back. And the property is big and long and bumpy as hell, and it shook the crap out of him. So the Sunstar is with the hydraulics, power steering, and the hydraulic lift for the deck and everything. It's like Luxo cut. And then when the winter comes, like he's upstate New York, so like now they get pummeled up there. I don't know what he's got up there right now, but a lot of areas in Michigan and everything else got pummeled. He's got like what I have, that big gigantic snow thrower, which is great because you're not I also have a plow, but with the plow you could lose traction. You can get this tractor stuck because of the weight. With the snow thrower, that's not a problem. So now he's got this beautiful tractor with the snow thrower, huge snow thrower, 2-stage, runs off the PTO. I got all that working. He's got the cutting deck meant. That's really what that tractor can do. And then is a PTO takeoff on the back of the tractor, so he could run something off the back of it. It can drag rakes and plows and stuff like that to some degree. And he said he even has a plow like on his ATV or whatever, and it can't push crap. Well, yeah, I noticed that. Like even on the Sunstar, it doesn't like to push. It doesn't want to do that. So I told him, I said, and you may disable, the stuff might get in the way of the cutting deck or putting on your snow thrower implement. And it's not just going to be like you can pick up a bunch of snow and carry it wherever and dump it. I think it might be the wrong choice, but for $100, I'm like, I have all this stuff laying around because eventually I find homes for it or people buy it or whatever. Like, you can't turn it down. My tractor's a better candidate because the deck is a mess. I took it off because it's a mess. And if I keep using it, something's going to fall off with a spinning blade, and I don't want that to happen. I have a bum cylinder. I need to get in there and rebuild the engine. And the output shaft that connects to the transmission, something, I guess a spline or something must have went wrong, and farmer fixed it. So the splines on the input shaft for the transmission and the pump, I guess got a little strip somehow, and somebody welded the U-joint to the transmission. Ugh, I saw that, and I was like, that's very disappointing. And I said, you also don't want to burn out your tractor trying to do something. For me here, if I wanted to if I could mount it to his tractor, but it's going to cost. It's going to cost. These things are not cheap, no matter which way you go. Even if you bought one brand new, mounting it would still be a chore because they're universal. Are you going to find the original equipment for a Sunstar? Maybe. Will it be in working order? Zippo's done a few. He's got one with it, but he's been collecting for years. And he had said once that you kind of want a tractor set up for one thing and be able to get on it, and then you want another tractor to set up for something else. Yes, you can swap stuff out, But like when it comes to snow, like if the tractor's not set up for it, and then he drives all the way up there and there's 2 feet of snow, where you gonna start moving, pulling the cutting deck off, and how does that lay out, right? It's not like he's got a big shop where he can just go up there and just find his way into the shop, get in through the little door, do what he's got to do in the comfort of a nice shop, and then open up the big door and be like, all right, I'm ready now. All of these things got to be thought about. One of the things I was thinking is that this thing's a mess. If I were to do it, I don't really need the cutting deck. I have other machines to cut with. He needs his cutting deck on his machine. I might even narrow it. If I were to put it on, I would do a custom setup. I might even narrow it a little bit. Maybe cut the barrel in the front down a little bit. But mostly, I don't even think I would leave the barrel on it. I would make like the forks something similar to what I have right now, and pick tractors up by the back end, or hang them in the air, and change out blades and wash the cutting decks, or you know what I'm saying. You guys kind of know what I do, and if I need to get it. Even now, I kind of do the same thing. If I have a problem getting a tractor in, or the winch won't pull it in onto the table, like I just use the winch to pull the right in, because it doesn't really move. And I can barely move that thing across the yard 2 feet, that right. Especially when it's got a hung brake and the tires keep going flat. But my tractor can pick it up and shove it. I can get it up the steps and the ramp in the back. I can hook the winch to it. I dragged it up on the work table. These are the kind of things that I would look to do, but it's still a labor of love. You could buy a working unit and maybe mount that. But I said the other thing that we really need? We need more tractors, right? You need another tractor. He's like, but they're expensive. Yeah, everything today got ridiculously expensive. And some of these smaller tractors with stuff like this on it, like an actual compact, which is bigger, which can handle more loads. I mean, he's got that saw, so you're going to cut down a tree, maybe 24 inches in diameter or so. Maybe you can drag it after you delimit. Maybe you cut it into a halves or thirds or something, whatever the board length you can get out of it, 8, 10 feet. And then you're not picking it up and being able to move around on any kind of grade. You're going to have to drag it. And I watch Farmcraft from time to time, and I remember he was doing some stuff. He has a pretty big tractor. I think he had like a Kubota or something, 4-wheel drive. And he used to drive into the wooded areas, but they get so boggy. Now he stays up on the road area that he's made, and he winches. He pulls the winch out, and he stays where he needs to stay, and he winches. And he winches from ground, from decent ground. Now he has other equipment because he's doing very well. And if he gets something stuck, he can just go get another bigger piece of equipment and pull himself out, which has happened, right? Which has happened. Now, the Bobcat, but they're expensive. Let me catch up. Let's see. I was doing that thing there. We're almost out of here anyway. I like that. Just like one click away. Yeah, that was a nice little clip. Nice loader blade. Yeah, isn't that nice? Yeah, the Bobcat is but they get expensive. Henry's leaving. He says, good night, great stream. Yep, I'm just about out of here too. Night, Hank. So, just some food for thought. I was thinking about that. I'm like, just leave it. We'll figure out what to do with it. I'm in no rush to do anything with it. It would be good to put that on YouTube. I would love doing that, whether it's on his tractor or another tractor or my tractor. That would be fun. And I'm itching for a job like that, where I can do fabrication and, customizations. And I would just map out all the plumbing because it's all broken, and then rip it off. And if I wanted to narrow it, whatever I wanted to do, just cut, weld, glue, get a plasma cutter. And he's like, yeah, get some of those metal cutting blades. Absolutely. Pick up a couple of metal cutting blades so I can make nice, straight, easy cuts. I would love doing that. That'd be great. All right, last thing. I just want to do a final shout out. I mentioned earlier is that Super Clean helped me out. So I gotta let her know too. Jessica over at Super Clean. So what I got, a basic kit. And a lot of times they'll send me a lot. But like I said, times are getting tough, fellas. You gotta like the spray foam. It's not as... Here, let me kill that. It's not as strong, I think, as the regular stuff. which is this in the bottle. And I always cut it like 50-50, and I start cleaning with the 50-50 in water. And I might spray a little bit of this on too, like mist it. I always start off with 50-50 first. And you can even do like 25-75 or something. I tried the all-wheel cleaner. You remember a few weeks back when I showed you guys a little bit about my rims on the van and what I was doing? I got to do the back. I asked her if she could. I kind of ran out. I've had a bottle of this around for a couple of years, and I finally ran out of it. I don't clean rims all that often, but it really did a good job. Remember how nice those rims came out? I asked her if she could send me a bottle, so she did, and I want to say thank you for that. And the foaming, which is the spray version, I think it has to do more with the nozzle. I'm not really sure. I said, but I'll try it again. You guys know I like cleaning products, chemicals, whatever. I just like to play with it. It's like, these are my toys. These are my hobbies. These are my toys. This is just, I love chemicals. You know, I like to say better living through chemistry, right? Is what I always say. And don't forget, fellas, right? You know, how you do anything is how you do everything. I want to say thank you to everybody that was hanging out with me tonight. I had some fun. I didn't get a chance to do anything last week, but this week I'm here, and now I'm leaving. And if I don't see you guys next week or before the holidays, you probably will see me. But if I don't, I want to say happy, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy pagan Festivus for the rest of us, the tree lighting. Don't burn anything down. I just heard my daughter told me that her boyfriend or one of his friends, they weren't home. Some old car, Chevy, I forget what she said it was. It went on fire and burned everything down. And somehow or other, the dog survived. Unfortunately, nobody was home, I guess, because maybe if they were home, they would have seen their car burning out on the property. And no, it wasn't a battery car, I don't think. And it lit everything up. So blessings and that nobody died, not even the dog. Things can be replaced. But be careful out there, and I will see you guys on the next live. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'll see you guys later. You got it, mate. And like I said, I want to show a little bit more of your stuff because I think you're doing a great job, brother. And, oh, by the way, hold on. Wait. Before you guys go, I want to say something about Mater, all right? So Mater, a couple of weeks back, right, when we had the hurricanes coming through and our friend Renegade in Florida, well, he went out and he was trying to get gas cans, and this is like the second hurricane that was coming through, and there weren't any around, right? Because, effing hurricanes. So we're hanging out on Mater's live stream. You know what Mater does? He ordered some gas cans from Amazon and had them sent to his house, and they got there before the hurricane. That's Mater, right? I just like good people, and I think Mater's good people. That was just really awesome. I was like, wow, that's... Like my brother said, just be nice to each other, and let's all try to get along and have a good time and be safe. I'll see you guys on the next one.